Hello there, Monstars. Welcome to our next flip video, and in this flip video we are going to be discussing shape attributes. Those are characteristics that identify particular types of shapes. In particular, we're going to be looking at angles, parallel, and perpendicular lines. So let's start off by talking about angles. An angle is the space formed when two lines meet. So for example, if I had a line going this way and a line segment going this way, the space formed where the two lines meet forms an angle. There are three types of angles. We have an angle called a right angle. And a right angle is an angle that equals 90 degrees, but we remember it as an angle that the corner of a paper could fit right inside the angle. Try to make a right angle using your hands right now. Yeah, see how it makes a perfect corner? Whenever we're discussing right angles, and right angles show up a lot with our polygon shapes, we're looking for two lines that meet and form a perfect corner. Another type of angle is an angle that's less than 90 degrees, or an angle that's smaller than a right angle. And when you try to put the corner of a piece of paper into that angle, you can see that the angle is smaller than that corner. We call this angle acute. A cute little angle is a way that we remember that. Try to make an acute angle with your hands. See how it's less than a perfect corner? And how a piece of paper could not fit in there? We have one more angle that we're going to talk about. And this angle is formed when two lines come together and the angle is larger than a piece of paper. So when I try to put my corner of my paper inside my angles where the points meet, see how there's a lot of space left over? This type of angle is called an obtuse angle. Try to make an obtuse angle with your hands. Yeah, see how that's much bigger than the corner of a paper? Okay, so I'm going to ask you as we move through to try to identify shapes based on their attributes, and I'm going to ask you a lot to look for right angles. And as we move further into Build-A-Town, I'm going to ask you to look for acute or obtuse angles. I'd like you to try this on your whisk. I'd like you to try to draw a shape with 4 right angles and 4 sides of equal length. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to try to draw a shape with 4 right angles and 4 sides of equal length. Let's see what you come up with. Push play when you're ready. Okay, you should have come up with a square. A square is a 4-sided polygon, a quadrilateral. It has every side is equal length, the same side, and it has 4 right angles. So if I grab my piece of paper and I put it right in the corner, and each angle where 2 lines meet, it forms a perfect corner, perfect right angles. All right, now let's talk about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So read the definition of parallel lines with me. Parallel lines are 2 lines that are the same distance apart and will never cross paths. So here is an example of parallel lines. It kind of looks like an equal sign, but they're 2 lines that as they're going, and if they were to continue on, not a line segment, but if they were to continue on, they would never cross paths in either direction. A lot of times people remember parallel lines by thinking of railroad tracks, like the ends of railroad tracks that will never cross, or the lines on the road on either side that will never cross. I want you to make parallel lines with your hands right now. They should never cross. So it's going to kind of look like an equal sign. Let's read the definition of perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are 2 lines that cross each other and form right angles. So this looks like kind of like a plus sign or a cross When they cross paths, they form perfect right angles. Let's test that out with our square, our piece of paper here. If I try this side, it's a perfect right angle. Try the bottom, it's a perfect right angle. This side, it's a perfect right angle, and this side is a perfect right angle. So when they cross paths, they're forming a corner. They're forming a perpendicular, the perpendicular lines are forming a right angle. Try to make a perpendicular line with your hands right now. Yeah, or your arms. You make a plus sign. Good job. Okay, looking at these three shapes, I want you to circle the two shapes, or write the two shapes on your paper that have parallel lines in them. Okay, push pause and hit play when you're ready. Let's talk about which ones have parallel lines. Okay, the first shape is a circle. Does it have parallel lines? No, it does not. A circle has no straight lines that will never cross. It has one line that goes around and touches itself again, okay? So those are not examples of parallel lines. Our second shape, the rectangle, actually has two sets of parallel lines. Let's use a yellow to show the top line and the bottom line segment is an example of a parallel line. So that's the first set. And if we look at the left line segment and the right line segment, that's another set of parallel lines that will never cross. So a rectangle actually has two sets of parallel lines. Let's look at our trapezoid. Does our trapezoid have a set of parallel lines? Yes, it does. You should circle our trapezoid because our trapezoid has one set of parallel lines. The top line and the bottom line are examples of parallel lines that will go on and they will never cross paths. You can see that our left oblique line and our right oblique line are not examples of parallel lines because if we continued those lines on, eventually they would cross. So trapezoid has one set of parallel lines. All right, here's a mystery shape for you. Can you draw the mystery shape that has parallel sides? That means every side is parallel to another side, has right angles, and equal sides. Can you draw that shape? Push pause, hit play when you're ready. Let's see how you did. And the answer was a square. You're right. I tried to trick you by using the same shape again. A square has parallel sides on top and bottom. Those are parallel to each other. It also has parallel sides on the left and on the right. It has four right angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And every side is of equal length. Okay, here's our joke for this video. Our joke for this video is, what do you call an adorable angle? And no, the answer is not Miss Sullivan's angle because we know Miss Sullivan's adorable. But what do you call an adorable angle? Okay, don't forget your whisk is due on Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great night and go Chiefs.